Before the dawn of human memory, when the earth was young, the universe itself shimmered with celestial light. In the grand expanse of the cosmos, the heavens were alive with the presence of angels. These divine beings, embodiments of wisdom and light, moved gracefully through the ethereal realms, carrying out the divine will of the Creator. Among them was a select group known as the Watchers. Their duty was to observe and guide humanity, ensuring they walked the path of righteousness and preserved the sanctity of divine law. Now, these Watchers were no ordinary angels. They were beings of unimaginable brilliance, each one radiating the splendor of 1,000 suns. Their eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom, and their wings unfurled like banners of light. They were flawless, untouched by the shadows of sin, and their very existence was a testament to the perfection of their Maker. Yet, despite their closeness to the divine, despite being creatures of pure light, a restlessness stirred within their luminous hearts. A profound disquietude, unlike anything they had ever known, began to take root among the Watchers. And so the most radiant of the angels gathered in celestial conclave, their voices echoing with disquiet. "Oh, how humanity flourishes," sighed one, his voice resonating with an unfamiliar yearning. "They laugh and love and create. They live lives filled with beauty and passion, while we remain aloof and distant. Why should they alone experience the full measure of life? Why are we denied the joys and sorrows, the triumphs and struggles that make up the tapestry of existence?" His words hung heavy in the luminous hall, stirring emotions that had slumbered for eons. One angel turned his gaze away from the earthly paradise below, his luminous eyes clouded with contemplation. "Our role is not to participate, but to observe and guide. To do otherwise would be to overstep our purpose, to usurp the divine order." Another voice chimed in, urging restraint. "Theirs is a fate sealed with mortality, a life measured by sunrise and sunset, a journey that ends in inevitable decline and fading. Are we truly meant to bear the burden of watching, to be spectators in the drama of existence, when we ourselves were created with the capacity to feel, to yearn, and to love?" A deep silence fell over the assembly of angels, broken only by the soft whisper of their wings. Each Watcher grappled with the unsettling question, contemplating the boundaries of their purpose. The unrest continued to grow within the hearts of the Watchers, slowly turning into an insatiable curiosity. Their longing for understanding overwhelmed their commitment to their divine role. They yearned to experience the world in its entirety, to feel the sun on their skin and the wind in their hair, to taste the sweetness of earthly delights, and to understand the depths of human emotion. And then the fateful decision was made. The Watchers, driven by their relentless desire for experience, chose to abandon their heavenly duties and descend upon the earth. The moment their wings brushed against the terrestrial realm, the natural world responded in awe and trepidation. Mountains trembled, rivers ran silent, and animals hid in their dens. The earth, sensing the celestial upheaval, recoiled as if bracing for an imminent catastrophe. As the Watchers moved among the humans, they were mistaken for men of exquisite beauty, their celestial forms cloaking any trace of their angelic nature. The daughters of men, with their laughter like cascading waterfalls and movements like the graceful sway of trees in the wind, captivated the hearts of the Watchers. Their beauty was a siren call, irresistible and alluring. Among the Watchers was a being of unparalleled radiance. His name, though lost to time, echoed with the splendor of 1,000 suns. His heart, once a vessel of pure devotion, now pulsed with an intoxicating desire for the daughter of man whom he had chosen as his bride. Now pulsed with an intoxicating desire for the daughter of man whom he had chosen as his bride. She, unaware of his celestial origins, reciprocated his affection. Drawn to his unearthly charm and captivated by his tales of distant worlds and star-studded skies. Their love story was one of unparalleled passion, a whirlwind romance that swept across the landscape like a summer storm, leaving in its wake a trail of emotions both exhilarating and unsettling. Yet their celestial union bore fruit that was far from divine. From their forbiddance love, giants of astonishing height and prowess were born, colossal beings whose very presence shook the foundations of the earth. These Nephilim, children of the Watchers and the daughters of men, were creatures of immense power and unfathomable strength. Their footsteps resonated like earthquakes. Their voices boomed like distant thunderstorms, and their very existence disrupted the harmonious balance of the world. As centuries passed, the giants roamed the earth, their influence growing with each passing decade. Their mere presence instilled a sense of overwhelming dread in the hearts of mortals. The giants, devoid of the divine spark that animated humanity, were driven by base desires and insatiable appetites. They devoured vast quantities of food, laid waste to entire cities, and subjugated human settlements, bending them to their colossal whims. Under the reign of the Nephilim, the world was plunged into a state of perpetual turmoil. Deception, war, and lawlessness became the norm, shattering the innocence that once characterized humanity's existence. The very essence of life was distorted, veering dangerously off the path of harmony envisioned by the Creator. Throughout this tumultuous period, the Watchers, disguised as human, reveled in their worldly pursuits, reveling in the earthly pleasures that had lured them away from their heavenly duties. They immersed themselves in the material world, indulging in its transient joys and failing to heed the mounting chaos that their actions had unleashed. The Nephilim, basking in their godlike status, saw themselves as supreme rulers of the earth, answerable to no one. Their arrogance knew no bounds, believing themselves to be invincible and untouchable. Yet, in the celestial realms, a profound discord was brewing. Whispers of the Watchers' transgressions reached the heavens, causing a celestial uproar. The angelic chorus, once harmonious, now reverberated with outrage and dismay. The very fabric of the cosmos was unsettled, as if the celestial spheres themselves were recoiling at the audacity of the Watchers. It was during this era of earthly turmoil that the first stirrings of divine retribution began to materialize. The heavens rumbled with power as mighty seraphim descended upon the earth. Among them, Michael, the archangel, stood as the harbinger of divine judgment. His presence alone radiated an overwhelming might that shook the very foundations of the Nephilim's arrogance. Michael's message was unequivocal and resounding. The Watchers, with their lapse in celestial duty, had not only corrupted themselves, but had disrupted the divine order of the cosmos. The Nephilim, products of forbidden unions, embodied the perversion of creation itself. It was time for their celestial charade to end and for them to face the consequences of their illicit actions. Les Watchers, stripped of their heavenly disguises, were met with the full force of divine condemnation. Their celestial forms, once symbols of radiant purity, were now marred by the shadows of their transgressions. The Nephilim, in their colossal might, were rendered vulnerable before the cosmic justice that Michael represented. Their godlike status on earth counted for nothing in the face of the celestial judgment that had arrived. And so it was that the Watchers and the Nephilim, architect of their own undoing, faced the consequences of their actions. The Watchers were bound in chains of celestial fire, their power nullified, their wings, once emblems of freedom, clipped. They were cast into the abyss, banished to a realm of eternal darkness. There, stripped of their angelic glory, they awaited their final judgment. There, celestial rebellion, a stark reminder of the perils of pride and transgression. The Nephilim, in their monstrous pride, resisted, unleashing upon the world the full extent of their colossal wrath. But their resistance was futile against the combined forces of the celestial host. One by one, the giants fell, their bodies crashing to the earth like collapsing mountains. There, souls forfeit to the eternal flames of divine retribution. In the aftermath of this celestial upheaval, the earth stood scarred and broken. The age of giants and fallen angels became a haunting chapter in the annals of time. The world, shaken to its core, bore witness to the destructive potential of unchecked ambition and forbidden desires. As the dust settled on the ravaged earth, the divine plan for humanity's redemption began to unfold. Yet, the legacy of the Watchers and the Nephilim lingered, a somber reminder of the heights to which pride can soar and the depths to which it can drag even the most radiant of souls. And thus the tale of the Watchers serves as a timeless parable, echoing through the corridors of eternity, a cautionary narrative of celestial disobedience, forbidden love, and the enduring struggle between divine order and the allure of earthly desires. Genesis 6:1-4, the sons of God took the daughters of men, and the Nephilim were on the earth. 1 Enoch 6-10, detailed account of the Watchers' descent. Their sins and their imprisonment point to Peter 2:4. God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them into chains of darkness.